Hello everybody, it's February 25th, 2022. We're going to take a look at our Bitcoin chart here today, and what I want to do is review what I said on Monday. So I have that right here. Basically this was just checking off the things that happened on Friday, or since Friday, between Friday and Monday we had both of these things checked, and then here is the next step that I had. So if we look on our chart over here, this was the 21st, right here. Okay, so I said from that 40K high, which is right in this area, we should reject downwards again to 35 to 37 or so. That was my Monday or Friday target, and then it changed to 34.7 to 35.6 in the video I did on Monday. And you can see what happened here. We rejected from 40K, and we came all the way down to a low of 34.3, right? And this is the zone that I had marked out, 34.7 to 35.6. So you can see we hit that zone and actually exceeded it just a little bit. And during the week, as I was updating members, I did in fact update that level as well and put this green box on. You can see we struck the top of that new target area there. Okay, so this is now done, right? Next thing I said, once that's complete, meaning this drop down here, we can see a bounce up into the low 40Ks for one final test before we get a strong push down to the low 30K area. So that, I believe, is what we're going to see now. This is my primary scenario. I am going to kind of give you a disclaimer here and say there's certainly a possibility that the bottom is already in. Based on the macro chart, we've gone deep enough. However, I do not like that we have a higher low here instead of a lower low. I really do prefer that we get down further, we break that low there. It'll make the chart make a lot more sense going forward. So if we do break above 45.8, then I will shift my bias towards being bullish again. But until that point, I'm looking for rejection here down into the low 30Ks. So that's the line in the sand for me, 45.8. Okay, so as I said, we've got our first, second, third, fourth, and fifth, and I was waiting for that to complete and then retest the low 40K area. So now I've got a fib drawn from the top all the way down to the bottom. There's the blue dotted lines that I've got. And typically we would see an ABC bounce up into this zone here, typically between 382 and 618 area, but because of how extended this area got here, I've moved the box up just slightly to say we've got room probably up to the 786, to be honest. Beyond that, it starts to get a little bit hairier, but really this line is the most important thing for me. I'll start to believe it if we can break above this. I'll start to believe that we're actually gonna break that, but until we do break this, I can't really do much of anything. I'll just kind of be neutral, whereas now I'm leaning bearish. If we break above that instead, I will shift towards being neutral basically, and just kind of waiting for more information. So let's zoom in here a little bit closer now that we know this zone where we should see rejection anywhere in this zone. You can see we've spiked into it already. Now typically, like I said, we see something that looks like an ABC, and I had this drawn on there from last night. I'm going to get rid of that for now because I'm not exactly sure where we are in this. Corrective structures can take many different forms, so I really don't know exactly where we are right now. Is this A? Is that just a really truncated B and we're just moving up now for C? Or is this all part of A, we still have a lower B and then a higher C? I'm not exactly sure which one of those things is going to be true. I think this is probably the most likely scenario, where we go here, we come down, and then we push up one more time before dropping. But we could just drop from here. That is well within the realm of possibilities because we are certainly within this resistance zone already. So basically, if we just keep pushing up, that's fine. I just continue shorting, okay? And I wait for it to drop or prove me wrong. If we come down from here, the way that it comes down is going to be important for me to potentially want to try to scalp along in that area. If we do something that looks pretty darn clear as a three-wave move down, and we hold, let's just pretend for a minute that's the top already. Okay, we can then get a target box here. So a B wave should go typically between 618 and 382. So if we can get anywhere in here, that would be enough. So I'm just going to put a brief support box there. It does have room down a little bit more. Like I said, we could come all the way down to 35.6 and then still go up. So maybe I'll just do a really big support box just because I'm not sure. If this does play out like this and give us that three-wave down, I can get a tighter target, right? Once we have this and this in place, I know a little bit better where C is going to go within that wave. But for now, basically, if we come down and test in this area and hold it, then we can see another move up for a C, like that. Get deeper into this box, higher into this box before then coming down. But right now I really cannot tell you what the highest probability situation is just because we are dealing with corrective structures, and like I said, they take many forms. So I'm going to be waiting. I'm not setting limit orders here. Like I said, I want to see a pretty clear three-wave move before I jump in, but I might, if I see that, I might go ahead and market buy some right here, and then your stop has to be below that low. There really isn't a great stop other than that, unfortunately. But it's still pretty decent risk reward if we can get that. So again, not setting limit orders personally. I'm waiting. I might just market buy there if it does a three-wave. Because the alternative is that we're already done this, and we would then see, instead of three waves, we'd see five, and we'd crash through that box, and we'd be making our way to the lower low. So this is why I'm not placing limit orders, because this could already be the top. Okay, so that is kind of short-term scenario, what I'm looking for. Let me just change that to kind of a maybe support color. Maybe that's support. All right, so somewhere down here, potentially a B wave, and then potentially a C wave higher, but I can't promise any of that is going to play out. We could, like I said, just keep pressing higher or just die from here. Either one's possible. Okay, so let's talk about the bullish alternative. How would I need to see this form in order to prove to me the bottom's already in? I mean, it's already kind of screwed up, to be honest, because micro, we really don't have a good first wave. Like, if you consider that to be a 1 and a 2, which I don't really, this is kind of crazy for a third, and we really didn't have a proper fourth wave. And now the way this fifth wave is playing out is just, it's quite ugly. So that kind of leans me towards maybe that's 5 waves up in an A, because it doesn't need to be beautiful to be an A wave, and then we get 3 down here, and then maybe we get like the C wave up, like I said. But anyway, regardless of that, in order for this to be an impulse up and to prove the bottom is in, I would need to see this. This, instead of being an A, would have to be 1. This, instead of being a B, would have to be 2. And the only way that we can be sure of either of those things is the next move up. Okay, we would draw a fib extension. Once this, if this dump happens here and holds, I'll draw a fib extension there and project upwards where C wave resistance should be for that. And if possible 3 can exceed that, and then hold a fourth wave and a fifth wave up through 45.8, at that point, I'll consider the bottom to be in, but not until then. Until that happens, I cannot consider the bottom to be in quite yet, right? So this isn't saying it's not possible, it is, but I don't see it as the most likely scenario, and it has a lot of work to do still. Okay, we need to see that second wave hold. We need to see third wave push up stronger than where C wave should go, right? So C would be somewhere in here, 3 would be somewhere higher than that, and then fourth and fifth. Okay, if we get that, I'll then aggressively buy the subsequent pullback after that. And that's pretty much as simple as I can make it. You know, there's still so much potential for this to continue on downwards because we did form a very nice 5-wave move down here, and you typically see 5-wave moves continue after a corrective period. They continue downwards then with another 5-wave, and then that's not even going to be the end of it. Probably it could be, but it may not be, right? We could even see a fourth and a fifth down even lower. That's always possible too. Now that being said, once we get towards, let's just assume that I'm correct and this goes lower. Once we get towards the bottom of that, what would be third wave, 1, 2, 3, I'm going to start buying, because it's possible that it truncates and the bottom just ends right there. That's also my higher time frame area that I've been expecting it to go to. And then if we do get a 4 and a 5, I'll just buy more, and that's fine with me. But I will start scaling in at that next lower low, assuming we get it. Okay, that's all I've got on Bitcoin. Parameters, I think, are pretty clear. Not necessarily what's going to happen in the short term, but what do we need to see in order to prove the bottom's in now, or say we're going lower. Those parameters are pretty clear. So let's just see what the weekend brings, and we'll go from there. All right, I will talk to you all on Monday.